I have used here button primary. Now there are many classes of buttons that are being used with these Bootstrap elements. Instead of button classes, I am now using button default. Press Ctrl S, get back to your project, and you can see that this thing is in accordance to our form element that has been created so far. Now there is another class over here which is known as button warning. You see that button warning is another class. Now these two are practically two different classes. This button is a separate class, and this thing is practically the class that is defining all the properties of this button. That means these button properties, those are practically being determined by these classes. So what is the outcome of this class? Let's get back to our project, reload, and we can see that this is the outcome that will be executed if we use button warning. We can use here button danger. Now let's get back to our project and reload. Now we can see that it is a red button. And another thing, if you want to vary the sizes of this button, then there's another particular class over here which is known as, so we have button LG now. If we use button LG, this button is practically getting enhanced. Again, if you want to use button SM, you see that the button size is getting reduced now. Use button XS, and again you can see that the size is further reduced. This is now practically button XS class which is being used along with these button elements. So let's put it back to its prior stage, button danger, and we are now aware of this kind of things, what will be the classes that should be used along with these button elements. Now we are getting back to our primary form which is known as input type text. So for the things those have been created over here, we have to check it out whether it is working properly in your mobile browser preview or not. So that is why we are getting back to our mobile responsive preview, and here we can see that every elements, those are practically working perfectly, and file. Here it is, no file selected, browse elements, it is practically working well. Another thing, so far the form element that has been created over here, it is practically a front-end development. It is all about visual display or user experience. We are not yet concerned about these back-end properties. That means we are not yet aware of the fact that how to collect those elements. Suppose we are entering something over here. Suppose we are now selecting something else over here, and we are selecting these things and we are just pressing submit. No, this submit button will not work so far. This is the part of the programming language that we will be discussing in our later tutorials, while we will discuss on PHP and MySQL part. That means we will be directly involving some kind of programming oriented language and database. So those things are out of the scope of this tutorial. All we need to do first, we are practically creating what we are doing over here. We are practically designing these elements with the aid of Bootstrap framework. Now press Ctrl Shift M and get back to your original view. Suppose we are using some different classes over here such that these boxes will be executing a green property or a red property, and they will be having a green or red box shadow. These things also can be manipulated over here. Now here goes the class. We are practically using div class form group here. Now suppose I am using has success, and here I am using another class has error, and I am using here has warning. Now just press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload. Now you can see first input type, it is practically executing a greenish border, green border. The second input type, it is practically using a red border, and the third one, its color is also changed. So all we have done over here, we have used these class names, has error, has warning, this sort of things, has success. We are just placing them over here, and this is the output that we can see. Now another thing, suppose that we have entered name over here and it is a proper thing. So in that case there will be an icon to represent that the name input over here was right and accurate. Same thing over here, if we use some wrong email over here then a corresponding icon will be here. In doing so, the first thing we need to make all those things, we need to represent these classes. So that is why now if we get back to our project, and now we are implementing this class over here which is known as has feedback, and here we are saying that now we are using another class here which is known as form control feedback. Now if we just press Ctrl S, get back to our project and reload, and now we can see that an icon has been appeared over here which is inline and within this box which represents this name field. In the same manner, if we get back to our email part, it is practically using a class which is known as has error. So all we need to do, we need to provide here has feedback. We are just copying this thing and here we are pasting it, and here we are using this class. Now if we just get back to our project and reload, and now we can see that a warning class has been generated over here. In the same manner, you can use any kind of glyph icons that will be used along with these email properties, with these name fields, with these input fields as a whole. Now one thing you have to consider over here, that this class, this span class, this has success or has feedback class, all those things will be appended to the particular form element if a particular requirement is met or isn't. So this is the thing, this is the domain of PHP or those sort of languages, whatever language you use, or database oriented. So all those things are practically out of the scope of this tutorial. What we are teaching here, we are showing you how to use these classes in a front-end environment. Now the rest of the things you may have properly notified it. Now again we are using this thing over here, copying it, and has warning here. We are practically using another class has feedback, and on the other hand we are using this class. This class should be removed. So that is why we are going to getbootstrap.com components part, and here we can see that a lot of icons are present over here. These are practically the glyph icons. The same glyph icons, those are practically present inside the zip format that you have downloaded from glyph icon from getbootstrap.com, and you will find it over here. Here they are, glyph icons, half-links, and all those things are practically using this kind of glyph icons over there. And among these glyph icons, we need, suppose we are using this glyph icon remove. So all we need to do, we need to copy this thing from here, and here we are practically pasting it. We don't need to use it twice. Glyph icon remove is the actual class. So now if we press Ctrl S, get back to our project and reload, and now we can see that the password, this glyph icon will appear alongside. Another important feature, the last one, is suppose we are copying this whole thing and we are pasting it over here, and instead of text area we are pasting it over here. Now it is about enter password, for say it is about enter address. Input type is ID will be the same, and here we are using another term which is known as disabled. So what will be the output of it? Get back to your project, press Ctrl S, and you can see that a disabled field has been produced over here. All you need to do now, you need to practically use this kind of things. If you need to use this kind of form elements, you need to practice over it. We have never used a class with it. So if we now use form inline, get back to your project, reload, and you can see all those forms, those are practically getting horizontal and they are coming side by side if we use this particular class form inline. So all these things are practically a kind of experiment. You need to make some experiments with Bootstrap classes. So now we are acquainted with all these form elements, all these form classes that is being used extensively with Bootstrap. In the next tutorial we are going to learn about customization of these form elements with the aid of this Firebug element and the custom CSS. Please comment us down below and let us know what you are thinking, what's your feedback on this particular video tutorial or anything else. It will be a very pleasure to know all your thoughts, your thinkings about it. And if you guys have liked this tutorial, then please do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.